If you applied for political asylum and you're confused about immigration court, this video is for you. A lot of people hear words like master hearing, individual hearing, or change of address, and immediately they panic. But understanding the process can help you avoid mistakes that may seriously affect your case. I'm immigration attorney Carlene, and today, along with my husband Ed, who is also an immigration attorney, we work together. We're going to explain the difference between a master hearing and an individual hearing, how to prepare for immigration court, and what happens if you move from one state to the next, and why updating your address is critical, and some common mistakes that you probably should avoid if you're applying for asylum. So let's get into it. What exactly is political asylum? Political asylum is protection for people who are afraid to return to their home country. Why? Because of persecution or fear of persecution. And this persecution may be connected to political opinion, religion, nationality, race, or membership in a particular social group. When someone applies for asylum, they may either apply with the USCIS or they may apply with the immigration court. If your case is an immigration court, you will usually have two hearings, a master hearing and an individual hearing. So now I'm going to ask Ed to explain what is a master hearing and also what is an individual hearing.
I have a lot of clients that I go to court with for a master hearing. They get very nervous. It's really not a big deal though, because when you go to a master hearing before a judge, and here in Miami, the judges are very reasonable, they listen. They'll ask you just a few questions. Is this your address? Is this your full name? Have there been any changes? And what exactly would you like to apply for? There's lots of different types of legal relief out there, but if you're applying for asylum, are you persecuted for political reasons? Have you been persecuted because you're a member of a particular family, for example, that's known to have political confrontation with the government? There's a lot of reasons, and that's why it's good to work with an attorney, because you work that out ahead of time. But let the attorney handle that for you. You only have to know a few things. Have you changed your address recently? And is the attorney sitting next to you, your attorney? And are you ready to proceed? And what legal relief do you want to go forward on? It's not that hard. The attorney's going to take care of it for you. But remember, your part is a very small part. The master hearing is not difficult. Now, the individual, that's another story.
So is a master hearing usually long or are they usually short?
No, it's usually short. After they call your name, it's usually 10 or 15 minutes at the most. And really, the setup in court is interesting. You have the judge that sits in front of you. See, the judge is where you're looking at me, so I would be the judge. Off to my right is a clerk. There's a translator there who will translate for us. And then behind all of us is a group of people that are also waiting to have their hearing called. So don't get nervous, stay calm. It's the best thing. And myself, I've done 35 years of these hearings. Carlene has done 35 years of these hearings. And so we've seen all kinds of behavior, but mostly it works out just fine. It's the individual hearing though that becomes a problem. But just before, if I may, just before we talk about the individual hearing, I'd just like to talk a little bit about the notices that you get in the mail. These notices are not junk mail that we often get.
What is a notice called?
It's called an NTA, a notice. It's an NTA, they call it. And you have to respond to that. And how do you respond to that? When you get an NTA in the mail, you don't get it, you don't throw it away. I'm not going to open up another account with this bank or with this telephone company or whatever. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just throwing the garbage. No. Because you are throwing your life away on that. Because what will happen is, and this has happened many times, many clients will show up, or I should say the attorneys show up, and the clients are not there because they didn't look at the hearing. They didn't know what time limit hearing was. They've really put themselves in a very deep hole, and it's very difficult to come out of that. So please, when you get something like this in the mail, anything from the government, don't throw it away. Ask someone, what does this mean? If you're in school, you have a teacher, what's this mean? What does NTA mean? There's a hearing on the state. Do I have to go? I don't have to go, right? Of course you have to go. You have to respond. Get an attorney, talk to a friend, talk to a teacher, talk to your priest, talk to a pastor, whoever. Don't go unprepared for these hearings, because what will happen is the case could be denied. You could be ordered, removed from imagine this now. You could be removed from the United States and you don't even have to be present to that happen. And one day, someone can come knocking at the door and they're saying, we're here to remove you from the United States. And that is not a good time. It's not a pleasant time. I don't want that to happen to you. So please, every single notice that you get in the mail, you must notify us. And also, if you change your address or your telephone number, make certain that you notify the court. And if you have an attorney, you tell your attorney. There have been many times when I've been to court, and despite all phone calls and letters and all that, client is not there. The chair is empty. I'm looking at an empty chair, and the judge wants to know what's happening. And there's only so many excuses that I could come up with. Don't do the things I'm telling you not to do, and you're going to be okay. Please continue. What were you saying?
Yeah, and that's so important, the notice to appear, because it's in English. And so you have to remember, if you don't understand English, you should talk to an attorney so the attorney can tell you what it's all about. And then after the master hearing, the judge usually tells you that you'll have an individual hearing. So the individual hearing is the main hearing, and that's when you're going to present your full case to the court. And you can testify, and the attorney will ask you questions, and the government attorney will ask questions too,
Lots
right?
of questions.
And then
Well, what kind of questions? What are we talking about? These are not easy questions. These are hard questions.
And you can tell us some of the questions because you've been to court a lot.
Why are you asking for asylum? Why did you come to the United States? Are you here because you want government benefits? Are you here because maybe you need money for a medical situation that you might have? No, that's not what you're here. You're fleeing. You're fleeing for your life. You're coming here because you were persecuted for one of the reasons that Carmine told you earlier, for political reasons. A member of a family that's been persecuted. And there are many other reasons, but you have to give a good reason. And the questions are based on that. So you have to know your application very well. You can't never just sign an application. It's called an I-589. Never just sign it. Because if you do that, you're responsible for everything that's in there. And if that information is incorrect and you testify in the opposite direction, what do you think the judge is going to say? Why? What are you doing here? You said you were persecuted. Now you're saying you're not persecuted. You're saying that you can't return to your country in the application. Now you're saying, I don't mind going back to my country. These are examples. You don't want that.
So the judge is going to evaluate your credibility, your story, the supporting documents, and the country conditions, right? The judge is going to...
What's going on in your country?
Yes.
Has it been reformed? Is it a beautiful place to go back to now? Or is it absolutely a place of death?
And the judge is also paying attention to if you're being consistent, if you're being consistent with the dates and the details, and to see if what you're talking about, your testimony, if that matches with the application. So this is really important, and you have to be prepared way ahead of time, not just for the master hearing, but the individual hearing. You definitely more preparation for the individual hearing. So we're going to talk a little bit how to prepare for court, for immigration court. And one of the first things, of course, that you have to do is to review your application carefully. Review it alone, review it with your attorney. And that's important. Review the dates, review names of people that you've mentioned, review events, review all the things that are in your application. You have to understand what was submitted to the immigration court. And then you have to organize your evidence, right? And what do you think some of the evidence are we should have in an application?
You've got to have some evidence. People sometimes come to me and say, no, just take my word for it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
No.
So we should have police reports,
Yes.
medical reports,
Yes.
newspaper articles maybe,
Yeah, absolutely.
witnesses.
Yes, witnesses, photos. If you were harmed, many clients have been harmed. They have black and blues, they have broken arms and so forth. We've had clients over the years that have actually lost limbs. And so we use that as evidence. This man, this woman cannot go back to his country, her country, absolutely cannot, because great harm would come upon them. So this is very serious stuff. And that's why you need someone who's going to fight for you, someone who's going to fight hard for you. And that's the purpose of, you took the time to find an attorney. And now you have to trust the attorney. Let the attorney do what he's good at, what he's great at. You need a great attorney in this one, especially asylum. But that depends on you though, because you have to give that information, because we can't make it up.
And so you need to practice telling your story, practice with your friends, your family, and of course, practice with your attorney. But you should be able to say what happened, why it happened, why are you afraid to return to your country? And if you don't understand a question in court, the best thing to do is to ask to repeat, right? What would you say?
Sure.
You should never,
I don't know what
never
that
guess.
question means.
What does that mean? Exactly.
Sometimes I've heard clients answering the wrong question. I've had to stop. I said, excuse me, Your Honor. Do you understand the question? If you can understand, we'll start again. And we start again. We don't want any of those embarrassing moments. We don't want any, I don't remember. So where's your family located? Are they still back in your home country? I don't know, none of that stuff. And this is in spite of spending many hours going over and practicing this with our clients. It's something about court that scares people. Don't get scared, okay? Don't get scared, but practice and talk.
And how do you think we should dress for court? For example, as if we're going to church, should we wear jeans with the holes? Should we wear a t-shirt?
You have to dress well. The men, listen, you got to wear a jacket, and if you can, wear a tie. I'm not wearing a tie today because I have to wear this microphone. I don't want to get in the way. Okay, but you have to dress nicely. The women, just as if you're going to church. Okay, you're going to a school meeting for your kids. You want to look good. You want to look presentable.
Sure.
And when you don't, and I've seen this before, I didn't think I had to tell everybody, and now I tell everybody. I've had people show up with political shirts, and the judges get offended by that. And in this particular case, this happened a number of years, a long time ago. The judge canceled the hearing and rescheduled it for another year. With a year later, we had to go back. So these are the kinds of things that we don't want to get involved in. There's a lot of things. We know them all, right? We've come, right? Have we not by this point?
Sure.
We know them all. We're going to protect you from it.
And remember, always turn no phones in the courtroom. And people think they can bring their phones so they can call their mom or their dad right after. Hey, this happened in court. You need to turn your phones off. The judges get upset about that. So remember now, just one more thing that's very important. If you change your address, you need to do a change of address form, the AR-11. You need to fill out that form and submit it to the court, to USCIS. And then the court has another form, the EOIR, form 11 that you need to fill out. You need to complete that form for the court. So always fill out one form for the court and one for USCIS. Your attorney can help you to do this. If you live in, let's say, New Jersey and you move to Miami, remember to do a change of address, and you must do a change of venue so that the immigration court can send your court date, your court hearing to your place of residence. Okay, that's important. You shouldn't live in Miami and have to travel to New Jersey to do your hearing. The court will change the venue of your court to Miami if you move, let's say, from New Jersey to Miami. This is important.
But not the day before the hearing.
Exactly.
Okay, not a week before the hearing. You have to give them a lot of time. Because these motions, it's like a telephone call. It's like you're calling the court. We're not allowed to call the court, but we can file this motion. It's like a phone call. It's in writing. They see it. Judge, I moved. I have to change. I don't want to have my hearing in Texas anymore. I'm living in New Jersey. Exactly. So they'll move it to New Jersey, but not if you do it 2 days before or a week before, because then there's no time and you just create a lot of problems. And I've seen this before. People have to struggle. They have to buy an expensive plane ticket. They have to pack up and they have to go down, and it's a mess. So there's a lot of little things involved in this asylum process. And it's very important that I'm glad that you're watching us today, and I hope this information is useful. And if you have any comments that you want to make, any questions that you have, you put them in the comments. I'm going to go through them. I'm going to read them, and I'll get back to you.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about that.
Just to recap a little bit. So mistakes to avoid: don't miss court dates. Remember to change your address if you move. Don't file an incomplete application. Don't submit false information. And don't ignore deadlines, okay? And don't wait too long to get legal advice, okay? Contact an attorney if you're scared, if you don't understand, okay? Every asylum case is different, and everybody has something individual. So we're happy that you joined us today, and we're here to help you. So if you have any questions, just let us know, write it in the comments, contact us, we can help you.
And subscribe so that we'll keep you. We're going to do this a lot of times now. We've been having this type of conversation. It's almost, so you're like a client in front of us at our desk. This is our office. And this is how we would talk to people. We give it to you straight. We give you the information as it is. If you have questions, you have anything, just let us know, okay? And subscribe. We're going to give you more information as time goes on, okay?
Thank you. See you again.
All right, see you.